I had a misfire. This is a 2009 Dodge Avenger. I just fixed a problem that I had. It was a misfire on cylinder 1. And so the first thing I did was I replaced the spark plugs. I just replaced all of them. I don't have the history on this car, so I didn't know whether they was due for a tune-up. And after I replaced the spark plugs, the misfire remained. So the second thing I did was I swapped out the coils. I swapped out 2 of the coils to see if the misfire would follow the coil, and it did not. So the second thing I did was I did a compression test. I checked the compression on all 4 cylinders, and they were all the same. The readings were all the same. So I figured there wasn't an issue with compression. So then it pointed to fuel injection. So I don't have any high-tech equipment for the fuel injectors. So all I used was a test light and a multimeter. So I used the test light and I grounded it to the I grounded it here to the negative connector, and then I put it on both leads until it lit up. So I knew I was getting power at each of the injectors. The second thing I did was I started the car and I tried to listen. I can't find my stethoscope, so I used this alternate stethoscope right here, and I put it at the down low on the each injector, and put my ear to it to listen to see if each one were firing, and they were. So the last thing I did was I wanted to test the resistance. So I used my handy multimeter. I turned it to ohms, and I put the leads on each injector. I'm holding this phone, so I can't do that right now. Touch each one, doesn't matter which one. Put the red on one, put the black on the other, and I checked them all the way across, and one of them was off by about 0.3 of a point. I read that it can't be off by more than a half a point, but it was off only 0.3 of a point. So I decided to replace the injector, which is easy as pie on this car. All you have to do is take off the fuel line. You squeeze this green tab and pull it. It pops right off. A little bit of fuel is going to leak out. Negligible. Okay. Next thing you do is you get you pop this out and you pop this out. You get a 12 millimeter deep, and you take off the rail. Okay. I'm sorry. You loosen these screws. To get these off, each of the harness on the connectors to the injectors, I'm sorry, you just lift that up with a screwdriver and then squeeze the black tab with your thumb, lift it out. Okay? Take all these off. Take these darn bolts off. You can not see them. There's so much gunk in there. You can't see them. 13 millimeter. Take it off. Grab this rail and wiggle it a little, and it pops right out. Okay? In order to take the injector off, there's a little bracket. It's like a no-brainer. You use a little screwdriver. And let me see if I can show you real quick. Darn it. Here's the rail. To take the injector off, you use this little screwdriver. You can use your own fingers. And you just pop this piece off. That's it. Then wiggle the injector off. I put a new injector on. I cleared the codes, and the misfire did not come back. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know anything about cars. I know very little. Let's put it like that. And this is it. This is how I found my problem. Your problem might be different. This is what I did. I hope it's helpful.